Hey Dynamo Nation, what's going on? My name is James. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Today we're looking at deep sleepers at the running back positions for Week 13. If this is your first time here on the channel, welcome. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe and like button. It definitely helps the channel, helps me pump out more content. Now that our housekeeping is out of the way, I'm going to throw our first table up as always. We're going to take a look at the top 10 teams that we want to start our running backs against for Week 13. You can see a few of these teams have already played. We have some buys on this list, but overall, we still have some pretty nice matchups this week. You know, there's some interdivisional games towards the end of the season. We have to focus in on teams that are healthy. That's our main goal right now when we're looking at our plays this week. A lot of teams have hurt offensive linemen. We have to factor that in when we're making our decisions here on our running backs. Now that the tables are out of the way, let's get right into our RBs for the week. Our first running back play is going to be Devonta Freeman, Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens face the Steelers this week, and that's actually a pretty good matchup because Pittsburgh has given up a league-high 4.8 yards per carry so far. And this is a number 12-13 matchup of the week for Freeman. And when we look at Freeman in the last 4 games, he's averaged 17 total touches per game between rushing and receiving attempts or receptions. So he's definitely, I think he's taking that role over in Baltimore as their lead back. It's still going to be a split backfield, but if he's getting us 17 touches per week and going against the worst rushing defense in the league based on a yards per carry average, that's someone that we have to throw in there as a start this week, especially if you're in a deep league and you're hurting at running back and you need a deep play. Freeman's a nice pickup. He's only being started in 55% of leagues right now, so definitely someone that you can probably target. You're not probably going to get him on waivers. He's already long gone picked up, but possibly in a trade. If you can get him in a nice undervalued trade just to help you for this week and even going forward, because like I said, he has that starting job. Freeman would be a nice pickup. Our second running back is going to be Rhamondre Stevenson, New England Patriots. Now he's got a pretty bad matchup this week. Buffalo is the 29th ranked team for your running backs to go against. But you guys, you have to hear me out. This is going to be a physical game between Buffalo and New England. I firmly believe that. This is going to be a physical game. And we seen what happened to Buffalo a couple of weeks ago when they got into a physical game. Jonathan Taylor ran amok. Like, that was one of the greatest performances we've ever seen. I'm not saying Stevenson is Jonathan Taylor. Calm down, slow your roll. But he's a big physical back. And in the last 4 games, Stevenson has gotten 51 carries for 277 yards and 2 TDs. A bulk of that production came against the Browns, who have a very good run defense. When you look at the Browns with their run defense, that was a physical game, and New England made it a point to run the ball. I see Week 13 going very similar to that week for Stevenson. I think they're going to establish the run, and I think Belichick is going to make a point this week. Everyone wrote the Patriots off last year. Buffalo was going to run that division for the next 10 years. That's what we all heard, right? You see what happened this year. I mean, as much as we love to hate Belichick, he's a mad genius. And I firmly expect him to make a point this week. And what better way to make a point than to run the ball down the Buffalo Bills' throat? It's a hunch. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just my hunch. I have a sneaky feeling that may be how this plays out this week between New England and Buffalo. So our third deep sleeper RB matchup or RB play is going to be Deejay Dallas. They're playing San Fran. It's not a bad matchup. It's kind of middle of the road. I think San Fran's like the 15th best team to start your running backs against. The thing with Dallas, though, is he's got 2 straight games of double-digit points. He's averaging just a shade under 11 points per game in that time frame. He's got the pass-catching role locked down. That's how it looks right now. And then Alex Collins has been the definition of a jag this entire season. He's had 1 good game, and that was against Pittsburgh. And that's another reason why to start Freeman. Going back to that for a second. Collins went like 20 for 110 and a TD against Pittsburgh earlier in the season. Definitely start Freeman. Like 100%. Back to Dallas, Collins. Collins is a jag. Carson's been out with a neck. We don't know what's going to happen with him. Rashad Penny can't stay healthy. They did use a 4th-round pick on Dallas last year. I would expect Seattle to at least give Dallas a chance here over the last few weeks of the season just to see what they have. He's proven it. He can catch that ball. And even last week, he was way more efficient than, not last week, 2 weeks ago, way more efficient than Collins on the ground. You know, Dallas had, 4 carries for 26 yards and a touchdown? So if they can morph it all together here, that could be a nice little play. And the thing about Dallas is 2 out of the last 4 weeks, he's got really nice matchups on the ground going into the playoffs. I think the Lions run there maybe week 16 or 17, who are one of the worst rush defenses in the league. And if Dallas does come out and look good, you could have a sneaky little flex play going into the playoffs at running back. So those are going to be our 3 running backs, deep sleepers. You know, these are not guys who are in the top tier of starters, obviously. These are desperation plays. It's week 13. We need to obviously lock down this last win or two. You know, we have 1 more week. And speaking of that, I wanted to ask everyone, how do you feel about our fantasy football season being extended to week 14? Because internally for me, like, it's still, obviously it's our first year, but week 13 used to be it, right? Regular season, this was it. All the marbles, all the chips in the middle of the table. Week 14, we still have another week to go. I really like it. I'm kind of digging it. So I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. How are you feeling about 14-game regular season schedule in fantasy football? So that's going to be it for our running backs. Wide receiver video is also dropping today. This is being recorded on Saturday, December 4th. So check that one out. And yeah, let's get these last few W's, and we'll see you in the playoffs. All right, guys. See ya.